Hi, I'm BJ Holdsworth. Welcome to Ample Hunting. In week 3 of our 2013 hunting season, we welcome 3 Norwegians. Now these guys were a great example of just how prepared you could be for a New Zealand hunting adventure. They brought their own rifles. Now these rifles were equipped with great optics. They'd hand-loaded their own ammunition and they'd worked out the trajectory of that ammunition and dialed it into their scopes. Nothing was going to be safe from 0 to 500. This was just as well because the rut was in full swing. Now Eric was our first hunter. It was dry, it was dusty, we'd had drought declared just a few weeks before, so it was kind of depressing, but the deer had been held up near the waterways, so that's where we were going to hunt. We'd been watching an area we only hunt once a year, and there'd been a good stag there. The sort of stag that Eric was after, a nice heavy silver medal animal. Now we got in nice and early, with in mind it being open country. We wanted to get into a position to scout the area and hopefully drop into a point where we could shoot from before the animals started to roam around. This is what we did. We got out there, it was about 2 o'clock. We saw one animal moving for water. We decided to make our move. We dropped down, we got into position, and lo and behold, a stag appeared from nowhere. Yeah, Eric wasted no time. He lined him up and smacked him right on the shoulder. The stag was down. We were all happy. First animal down, day 1. What could be better than that? Our next hunter up was Hans. We decided to take Hans into a valley where we knew there was a bunch of hinds hanging. Now these hinds at this time of the year would certainly be attracting any mature stag. We walked in, we got in, climbed through some bush, we sat down, we had a really nice view of the valley, and it was only a matter of minutes before we saw our first stags. A bunch of small stags were seen. They were satelliting the action which was in the trees below us, and we only had to wait probably 10 minutes and out he came. He was a beauty. Hans wasted no time in getting set up, and we'll watch the rest of the video. This was pretty cool. Hans's stag was down, knocked off his feet at 250 yards. He had his trophy, and those hinds would now have to find a new master. He was delighted. What a great way to end that hunt. This is an incredible hunt, and I hope you appreciate this footage because it doesn't happen very often in open country. We'd had a management stag on our property for probably 3 or 4 years. In that time, I'd been trying to shoot him. Now Hans and I had seen this stag, and I said to Hans, if we can get down there without busting all the hinds, we could get that stag. He's in an area with very little cover. We don't hunt this area particularly very often, but there was an opportunity the next morning with that wind direction to hopefully have a go. It was a misty old morning. We get a lot of early morning mist on our property, which is actually a really good thing for stalking. Now we could hear some stags roaring. There was 2 stags roaring in particular. We looked down and we saw him. He was standing on the hill looking around, and there was a bunch of hinds just below us. We decided to cut around the side of the hill, hoping to get to the ridge without getting busted. Unfortunately, we spooked another bunch of hinds. They took off up the hill, jumping the fence, back into the bush. We thought we'd blown it, but then we heard him roar. He was still there, but he was now heading in our direction. Watch what happens as a rut-fueled stag goes looking for a challenge. This is one of my favourite hunts of the season so far, by a long shot.
That's bloody exciting.
15 metres.
Incredible, 50-metre shot in the base of the neck, no problem Hans, you just took out a stag I've been trying to shoot for 3 years. What a great hunt, and you know, weary old warrior stags only make mistakes like that during the peak of the rut. I was pretty happy and so was Hans. You know, we balled all their stags' heads out for the week's hunting. We sat back on the last night, we had a good old New Zealand Kiwi barbecue, a few beers, and yeah, it was a fitting end to a really good week's hunting. Thanks for watching.